Badges don't grant extra rights. This is Cop Block Radio on the FPRN Radio Network. Here are your hosts, Eric, Adam, and Scott.
Well, welcome to the show, guys. I'm your host tonight, Adam. Listening to the Cop Block Radio Show. Tonight with me I have Eric and Scott. You're listening to FPRN, hopefully syndicated across the interwebs. Today's date is June 26, 2013. And Scott, you want to give out the call-in number so people calling?
Oh, yeah, you put me on the spot. I wrote it down here. Stand by. It's the call-in is the same one it has been forever. It's 657-314-9296. Hit the 1234 and then the pound sign. It'll get you in and talk to the producers. If you want to Skype in, which actually has a better connection, so we kind of prefer the Skype, but whatever works for you, just go to Skype, do a search, find our producers at at FPR and Radio Live, add them, they'll add you back, get you on the queue, and get you on the air.
Yeah, thanks, Scott. And then let's see. So tonight we got a pretty exciting show. We got a couple good guests coming on, and some crazy news going on around the Cop Block community tonight. We have Lauryn from Baltimore Cop Block, and then Micah from Alabama Cop Block on later on this evening. Other than that, first up, we got some crazy stories coming out of Keene with Garret Ean getting his camera stolen this morning.
Yeah, I don't know if any of you, obviously Adam had. Scott, have you seen this?
Sorry, my mic was apparently muted. Yeah, I actually have been following it a little bit, and I was trying to catch up while I'm doing it. This is the first opportunity I had to sit down since like 5 o'clock this morning, so I caught bits and pieces of it, but Garrett's the one that we had on, 2 weeks ago, was it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right on. Any word? It sounded like he was having some problems getting any information, and I think that there was a warrant, and it was missing some pages. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, so he was riding his bike to go downtown to Robin Hood, which is when they kind of follow the parking enforcement around and they plug the meter before the parking enforcer can actually see it and write a ticket, thus saving the person from getting a ticket and thus not giving the state extra money through fines and whatnot. So he was heading down, and then he said a couple cops kind of circled the block a couple times, and he thought it was kind of weird. So he started recording, and then it seems that they came up to him, and they had a warrant to seize his camera, and the warrant had all types of things that they were going to seize, and it was under the suspicion of quote-unquote wiretapping, which a couple weeks ago he was meeting with a city official to talk about the lawsuit against him and 5 other Robin Hooders about quote-unquote harassment and trying to make this no freedom zone around the people of 50 feet. And so he was talking to the city employee, and originally he wanted to record the conversation. And of course, this is the public employee, so why shouldn't anything that they talk about be on the record? Well, this city employee refused to speak while being recorded, so Garret managed to take really good notes, and he has a pretty good memory, so he wrote an entire transcript out of basically what they talked about, and apparently it was accurate enough that they felt that he had secretly recorded the conversation, and I think that's kind of where this warrant stemmed from. But yeah, like you said, in the section where it's supposed to have what their reasonable suspicion, or I guess in this case it should be probable cause for a warrant, it just says see affidavit attached, and there's no affidavit attached. So I'm not really sure what probable cause that they had. And since they were doing this for wiretapping, one of the funny things that I saw in the list of items that were to be seized was handwritten notes and transcripts. Last I checked, handwritten notes and transcripts are not wiretapping. So I thought that was kind of weird.
It must be one of those gray areas.
Is that what we're calling it?
It must be specifically vague enough to, allow them to take his papers. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know if he knows shorthand or if he just has a really good memory, but yeah. So they have to take his papers. So if he was taking notes in front of the dude, I don't know how he can claim that he didn't know he was taking notes.
Yeah.
He couldn't have been secretly doing it.
I'm not sure what Garret does, for an occupation, but if you guys have ever, been to court or been deposed, those stenographers, man, I mean, maybe he's one of them, and he's just, rocking it out. Sometimes it works, but, I mean, my memory's shot.
Yeah, I mean, if you've ever seen a, reporter who's taking notes, they're going to take it all in shorthand, and they can easily write down everything you say as you're saying it in shorthand form and then type it out later.
Yeah, no, shorthand, pretty crazy stuff.
I should really learn it because of this.
That you gotta teach a class on it.
Yeah, then I'll teach myself, and then I'll teach the rest of the CopBlock community. Hey, this is if you need to take notes, not electronically. This is how you do it.
You have 300. You have 358 days until PorkFest.
Great
Awesome. Session for you. There you go, man. Perfect opportunity.
I guess that will give me a reason to go.
It'll give us all a reason to go because I need that. I'm the one who's always, I always have, multiple forms of technology on me or in my, my bag where I feel like a computer nerd, but I'm terrible with computers. I just record every time there's anything going on.
Yeah, but of course in New Hampshire it's a two-party consent state. So if you were to secretly record a bureaucrat and then release said recording, then you would be finding yourself in the same predicament that Damo found himself in last year.
Yeah, I mean, I actually had some phone calls that, somebody sent me something saying that I owed them money, and I was like, I don't owe you any money. So I called them up, and I just let them know. And in where I live in Pennsylvania, it's over the phone. You have to have two-party consent, and I'm just recording. Hey, I'm just recording this, and people didn't like it, and you're supposed to actually ask first, then hit record, unless it's for training purposes or so they can use it against you in a court. But every time it was you have to turn that off. It's feedback, it's this and that. And I think it was the fastest I ever got to like a 5th level supervisor in customer service ever. So if you're having issues with customer service, just let them know, hey, I'm recording this, and let me talk to your supervisor. And man, people get nervous.
Yeah, and just as a point of caution, even if you live in a one-party consent state, when you're calling across state lines, the state with the more restrictive law is the one that is applied to that phone call. So if you're in a one-party state and you're calling a two-party state, or a two-party state is calling you, then you'd have to let them know. So basically, if you don't know where the call is coming from, then it should be given out that you are recording if you plan on using it in the future.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good idea anyway, because that way the person can't – there's no backing out of it. There's no denying it. Like, you were aware that you were being recorded, and you still act like an idiot. Kind of like the cops on the last – with Anthony Antonello, whenever he had the cops come in with the lady. I don't know if she let them know, but I just put an Antonello where the producer's talking to me, and I got distracted, like, ooh, something shiny. But now they're talking to me.
Do it again.
I know, they're killing me. So I don't know if she let those guys know, but you could hear the way that they were acting, and maybe had they known that they were being recorded, they would have acted differently. They probably just turned the camera off anyway.
Yeah, so as far as Garret goes, we'll see, but they took his camera, and that was the only thing he had on him at the time. So I'm not really sure why they decided to take the camera, even though they had a laundry list of items to acquire from him, such as SD cards and computers and cell phones and all this stuff. So we'll see where it goes from there, if they happen to go farther and not just take what's on his person, but, follow up the chain to, his personal belongings where he keeps them and all that jazz.
Now, you moved back up to New Hampshire. Now, are you familiar with, was it the Porcupine 411? Is anybody still using that? I've seen some videos and stuff, and it seems to me like a really good idea, but, does that get used? Do you know anything about it?
Yeah, it does get used sometimes. I wish it would get used a little more. It's kind of fallen by the wayside. It's in my RSS feed, so I see them all the time. Usually, I haven't heard any emergency stuff go out over it lately. It's mostly been just announcements of things going on, or there's been a few calls for help, but it hasn't been like urgent type of calls for help. But yeah, that for those who don't know, there's a call-in number called Porcupine 411, and you can call in and leave a message, and it gets blasted out to everybody who's signed up to receive it. So if you're getting taken away by the cops, or if you're even having an interaction with the cops, you can just dial the phone number and just you can record. Basically, it goes to their voicemail, so they can't take your phone and delete the audio or anything like that. So, but yeah, it hasn't been used a lot lately, and I wish that would kind of turn around and start being used. But we'll see.
Oh, yeah.
And
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. And I believe there's a few others around the country that are part of this setup. The Porcupine 411 is just specifically for New Hampshire, but I believe if it's not dead at this point, I think there was one in Michigan and maybe one in Texas. I'm not really sure.
All right. Is that all you got on that, Eric?
Yep.
All right. So more crazy news coming out today of Copblockers being harassed. Brianne from Idaho Copblock actually contacted. Well, I reached out to her after she posted some stuff on Facebook, but she went down to Texas a couple months ago, and I remember talking to her when she went down there because I've met her numerous times. She's not very far away from me. Yesterday has been charged with a felony charge of unlawful delivery of a controlled substance in Bonners County. And basically, there's much confusion on where this charge is coming from. So, basically, she's been in Texas for 2 months, and nobody knows why she's being charged with this all of a sudden out of nowhere, because she hasn't even been here.
I'm sorry. I'm just, I don't understand why there would be, because what was the bond, like $20,000 or something?
Yeah, the bond on it's $20,000.
For unlawful delivery of a controlled substance.
Yes. Basically, from what I got out of it is, yesterday or the day before, her husband, which they're peacefully split up but still legally married on paper, was arrested the day before yesterday or something, and his buddy were arrested for selling marijuana to an undercover officer. So somehow she's been brought into this. Don't know if it's guilty by marriage or what.
Do you know? I mean, is she out? Did she turn herself in, or is she going out in the lamb?
Well, she just found out basically this morning that she has the warrant, and like I said, she's in Texas right now. So no, she hasn't been arrested. She's still free. In the process of contacting an attorney to figure out what steps to take next are, and why she's even being charged with this.
Yeah, it seems kind of out of the blue. Hey, you have a warrant out for somewhere you haven't lived in 2 months, possibly because of your connection to this other person, and maybe because the police department in that area doesn't like you for being so outspoken while you were there. Who knows?
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know if maybe they're just out to get cop blockers right now, or they're just going to slowly start cracking down on us, or if this is just some random weird.
Yeah, I was watching.
Did
you see the video that there was a video that Antonio Bueller put up, and pretty much like the guy who was like the chief of the police union or some, I don't know, some guy with a badge and a little funny little costume, was talking on the news, and he was talking about how Peaceful Streets Project down in Austin was being like, basically they're saying they're harassing and they're interfering with everything, and they're pretty much right now they're at the point where they're trying to use more laws or whatever it is to get back at the Peaceful Streets Project, because they're actually being held accountable. And there was a pretty good video, and they interviewed this the guy who was the union rep or whatever he is, but then they also got Antonio Bueller on there, and I think he did a pretty good job. And he was like, look, we're just trying to hold people accountable, and we're not interfering. And you can see from his videos that although sometimes they get a little bit verbal, that they stay back, and I'm not going to say that they're overly respectful, but they don't do anything wrong. They don't break the law. And now it's kind of becoming just like what's happening in New York, where they're trying to pass these, well, you're annoying a police officer. So if you can't tell that the war on recording a public official has already in full swing, it's becoming more and more frequent that they're trying to crack down on police accountability.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to circumvent our right to have a free press and freedom of speech and be able to record what's in the public domain. With his with that news piece, it kind of goes into another video that I saw this week, which was the same thing. A guy was recording, and the police officer, came over, and it's always, well, you're obstructing. Well, how am I obstructing when I'm 100 feet away from what you're doing? And the cop said something that is extremely telling on this. And he's like, well, you're distracting me. So because you don't know how to do your job effectively and pay attention to what's going on with what you're doing, you suddenly think I'm a threat or what? So it's just one of those things where they try always. Oh, and in this video, I'll try to find it over the break, but the cop goes completely off on him because he's been following the police around and recording them for a while, and they're just kind of fed up when he just completely goes off, and he knows he's on camera, so it's amazing that he even went as far as he did.
Yeah, it is. On the same topic, basically, of them not wanting us to record or be able to do anything like that, we have kind of similar topic there of not wanting us to question anything. I know what Eric, you've seen this, I think. I don't know if Scott, you've seen this, but the producers want to queue up clip number 2. And we'll kind of go back to our last week with our terroristic fun. I think what Scott, we came up with our terroristic word of the day.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
going to be freedom beef.
Freedom beef. It's a good one.
Freedom beef. So we're going to just keep trying to repeat that over and over.
I know. I haven't eaten yet, so I'll probably go home and get a freedom beef sandwich.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Now, if you guys want to go ahead and play clip 2, we'll listen to this real quick.
You guys have come up here and expressed concerns about water quality on several occasions. So I just started complaining. We called every one of them and said, do you have water problems? Do you want us to come test your water? Guess how many we got to say?
I got you myself right here, so I know exactly.
Yeah.
When I said one phone call is sufficient investigation of such serious complaints?
Well, we called them and said, do you want us to come down and test your water? No.
Will you call, will anybody here call?
Let me throw one thing out there just so you're aware, okay? We take water quality very seriously, very, very seriously. But you need to make sure that when you make water quality complaints, you have basis, because federally, if there's no water quality issues, that can be considered under Homeland Security and acts of terrorism. So, can you say again?
Yeah. You guys can kill that. So, yeah, the audio is a little off. Obviously recorded not with the best of equipment. But basically, there's some gentlemen that went into court or to the city. And basically there's an issue over water quality. No, little off topic, not quite on the Copblock thing, but fit in with the terroristic part. But basically they go to the city and they were wondering why the city was refusing to test this water that they were complaining about. The city came back with we did an investigation, looked into it. They said it was fine, so we didn't go test it. Well, basically their investigation was calling one person saying, hey, is your water okay? That person said, sure, and so they didn't go any further. So they went into the city and asked why wasn't this being taken care of, and the gentleman talking, I don't remember who exactly he is, basically comes back and says, under the Department of Homeland Security, that you questioning how good the quality of our water supply is could be taken as a terroristic threat.
Yeah, this thing totally left me speechless on how he was saying it. It was basically like if you made basically he was saying if you made a unfounded accusation against the water quality, it could be a terroristic threat or something like that. But it sounds like they didn't even investigate the accusation of the water supply to begin with, so that just seems really weird to jump straight to the conclusion. So as far as our terroristic word fund, I'm sure water supply is on the list somewhere.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get the producers to verify that one for us. The water supply. That could be next week.
Water supply distribution of Freedom Beef.
Bubba the Love Sponge, also on there, apparently. Not confirmed.
It is. Yeah, that's confirmed. I confirmed that earlier. All in one word there, too. Well, not one word, but in the same quotations.
So we have anything else that is terror-related?
As far as terror-related, I don't have anything. I know, Eric, you had a clip or a video you wanted to go with?
Yeah, this is out of Oregon, I believe, and well, I guess if we just play clip one, you'll pretty much get the gist of it.
There is new information on the young woman found walking naked along Interstate 5 over the weekend.
And state police confirms that woman, who was described as unresponsive and confused, was taken down with a taser. Newswatch 12 Justin Bork reports with an eyewitness account you'll only see on Newswatch 12.
The young woman seen walking confused and naked right here near milepost 18 on I-5 is a juvenile. And because of that, state police aren't releasing her name or the exact details around her condition. But one eyewitness says the situation was like nothing he had ever seen. It was a sight Adam Bednar says he wishes he could forget.
I don't know how to describe it, really. It was just shocking. That was all. You know, I couldn't believe that it was happening.
OSP officials describe a young girl, unresponsive and confused, wandering naked along the highway. It was Adam that first found her there.
I stopped the car in the middle of the freeway. I backed up, and she kind of looked in my window. She kind of laughed and kept on walking.
Adam drove alongside her while he called police. He says the trooper who arrived called for her to stop and threatened twice to tase her. After giving no response, 2 little red dots appeared on her back, then metal barbs.
She seized up, and she just fell face first on the ground. Just face first on the ground.
OSP officials say it was necessary to prevent her from wandering further into the road and putting herself in danger. Adam, who helped troopers apprehend the girl on the hood of his car, says he isn't so sure.
She wasn't going off the road. She was set on walking down the freeway. And I think that had she waited for backup, they probably could have got her without the taser.
As for the reasons for her behavior, state police say she likely has autism. Adam says whatever it was baffling.
I thought she was drugged. I thought she was on, maybe bath salts, too much meth, something.
What is certain is that the young girl was not the victim of a crime, and she is reportedly safe with her family. But Adam says he isn't about to forget this case anytime soon.
Wow, the craziest experience of my life.
State police say the young woman in this case won't be charged with any crimes because she wasn't aware of her surroundings. They say the use of force is done at an officer's discretion, but they will be reviewing it to make sure it meets their policies. In Ashland, Justin Bork, Newswatch 12.
So what wasn't mentioned in the audio clip and was later in the text of the story was that what they were calling a woman was actually an 11-year-old girl with autism. So I'm really unsure on why a taser was necessary to be deployed for an 11-year-old. And as you said, they didn't wait for backup or anything. They just jumped straight to, let's just shoot her with a taser. Yep. That sounds good.
I mean, not only that, I mean, this is an 11-year-old girl that's naked. I mean, why are we tasing this woman or young girl? It doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, does she totally trump over the officer's size? I mean, she's 11. She can't be that big.
So yeah, I mean, this kind of goes back to the whole thing. Why are we so? Why are the police so apt to jump straight to using a taser as if it is of no consequence?
Yeah,
we see week after week of people dying because of being tased simply because they're having a diabetic shock, or this girl's autistic. She didn't die, but she could have. You never know.
Yeah, this story kind of it reminds me. There was a story. It was about 5 months ago, I think. It was in Frederick, Maryland, and there was an individual who was at the movies. And I couldn't tell you what movie it was, but I know it was in Frederick, Maryland, and he was mentally disabled, and he was very obese. And there was they would show the movie, and then they showed the exact same movie right after that. So they cleared the theater, and then they would let him. They clear everything out, then they would bring on the next showing. And this person who was mentally disabled wanted to see the movie again, but they couldn't understand. They didn't quite get the concept that they had to leave and come out and pay again. And there happened to be two police officers who were off duty that were working as security guards, and they ended up getting into an altercation with this person who was essentially throwing a hissy fit because they wanted to stay. And this person ended up losing their life because the officers grabbed a hold of them and they had them on the ground and they crushed the person. And they had to go to the hospital or whatever, and then they ended up dying. And it's the exact same thing. They're not trying to, if a person is committing a crime, the police are not trying to bring them to justice to stand, for their day in court. They're administering, judge, jury, and executioner. And here you have an 11-year-old child who potentially, 11-year-old child could be 100 pounds, could be less. That's so traumatic for their body to be shocked with a taser, because these tasers can take down a grown man, an obese man. Some big muscular football player can be taken down by these things. And here you have an officer who could have stopped traffic. There's a million other things that you could do that we could talk about now, but that apparently didn't cross this person's mind, and this person's out there walking around with a loaded weapon still. And they're not on leave. They didn't even talk about the person being in trouble. They just said there's an investigation.
Yeah, I love how the local news didn't even mention who it was.
Yeah, they didn't give the officer's name, did they?
I don't think so.
No, probably not. But we got to go to break, guys. So make sure you come back after the break and listen some more. Up next, we have Lauryn from Baltimore Copblock. So listen up for that. You're listening to the Copblock Radio Show on FPRN, and hopefully it's going to syndicate it across the interwebs.
Meditation, grounded silence centering, seeking elimination of all that we could ever be, deliberate emanations of what's inside and separately our own manifestations.
In 1997, a high school shooting was stopped by a vice principal with a gun. In 1998, a middle school shooting was ended by a neighbor with a gun. In 2002, a terrorist attack was stopped by a school guard and a teacher with a gun. After September 11th, pilots began carrying guns to protect their passengers. Let's give our schools and teachers the same option. Sign the petition at defendschools.com.
Hi, I'm Trevor Moore. Due to the recent revelations that in order to fight terrorism, the NSA has been using a secret court order to spy on every single Verizon and AT&T customer, Americans have become outraged and concerned about their rights to privacy. But along with that concern comes a feeling of hopelessness. I mean, what can we do? Vote in new leaders? Well, the problem is that during an election, each candidate pretends to not be an asshole. Then when they get the job, they reveal that they've actually been a complete asshole this entire time. No, elections are of no use. The only way to fight back against our country's excessive wiretapping and data mining is to make it irrelevant. That's why we're launching Operation Everyone Talk Like a Terrorist all the time. If we all openly discuss terrorist plots in each of our phone conversations, then eavesdropping on those phone conversations becomes pointless. It's simple. We just need to work it into our daily vernacular. For example, instead of saying, "I love you," you could describe a terror attack. The larger the scale, the more you love the person.
Hi, Mom. I just got out of school. Can you pick me up?
I'll be there in 15 minutes. I'm going to use a truck bomb to blow up the Brooklyn Bridge.
I'm mailing anthrax to Purist Morgan.
Or nonsense about God's will being great could mean affirmative.
Hey, man, they have a 7:30 show, and do you think you can make it in time?
God is merciful and his love is unchanging. Did you already get me a ticket?
And those are just a few examples. You can make up your own. Have fun with it. But it's time for us to stand up and protect our rights. Because those assholes aren't going to.
Nothing is more American than Diamond Gusset jeans. 100% American made since 1987. Soft and broken in from the start, yet more rugged and durable than any jean you've ever worn. Have you ever experienced missized jeans from China? Well, you won't with Diamond Gusset. Every pair is crafted to fit exactly the same and always feel like they were custom made. Need a 35, 37, or 39 waist? How about a 31 inseam? We keep all sizes in stock for the fit you need. Looking for a relaxed fit, slim fit, regular fit, boot cut, or straight leg? We got you covered. Buy the world's best fitting jeans at gusset.com or call 1-888-8GUSSET. Get free Gusset targets for the next time you go to the shooting range with the purchase of their new Ranger jean. Use code COMFORT when ordering to receive free shipping on all Gusset orders at gusset.com. That's gusset.com to get only the best all-American jeans.
Hello, fellow patriots. This is Joseph Nazari, Director of Training Operations with Line of Fire, LLC, Professional Firearms Training Group, located in Las Vegas, Nevada. The fact that you're listening to this show is evidence to me that you are a true patriot and you do value your freedoms. As all patriots know, with freedom comes responsibility, and if you own a firearm, training should be an integral part of your personal defense profile. If you're considering quality firearms training, Line of Fire LLC should be your first choice. We teach all types of firearms training for all types of individuals, from the novice to the most advanced shooters. At Line of Fire LLC, we have a course for you. Please, feel free to call us today at 702-242-8288. We look forward to speaking with you soon. Once again, that's Line of Fire LLC, 702-242-8288.
Oh God, please help me. He's got a knife. You have reached the 911 emergency service. All operators are busy. Stay on the line for the next available emergency operator. You have reached the 911 emergency service. All operators are busy. Please stay on.
911 operator, what's your emergency, please? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Last year in the United States, thousands and thousands of 911 calls went unanswered. And if you call from a cell phone, there's no way to pinpoint where you are. Yet politicians like Dianne Feinstein call for more gun control. We have one question. Why do these politicians have armed bodyguards? Can't they just call 911?
You
Well, welcome back to the show, guys. Thanks for staying through the break there. So last we were talking about tasering people, but I think we've got a guest coming on, and that would be Laura from Baltimore Copblock. Do we have her?
Yeah, Lauryn.
Oh, Lauryn. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's okay.
How you doing, Lauryn?
I'm doing just fine. You guys were talking about that mentally handicapped boy that got tasered.
Oh,
Yeah.
the 11-year-old girl that was tasered on the side of the street, yeah.
Well, yeah, but then you said something about the boy in the movie theater.
Yeah, Lauryn, I was talking about that one in Frederick. I mean, you can probably give us, a little bit more information. Then we'll get into, who you are, what you're doing, and stuff like that.
Yeah, I just wanted to, real quick, there was one thing about that bothered me even more, is that it was the whatever the 30 Seconds to Bin Laden movie. You know what I'm talking about, that they made about capturing Bin Laden. I can't remember the name of the movie, but that's the movie he went to see. He was there because he was obsessed with law enforcement and military. So he was actually excited when he saw the police.
Yeah, he was seeing...
Which kind of made it even worse.
Yeah, so he was seeing Zero Dark 30, and I think they actually had handcuffed him and left him on the ground on his stomach, and he ended up suffocating to death under, he basically had self-inflicted asphyxiation.
Yep. I just wanted to say that he was actually he was a fan of the police and the military, and that's how he ended up dying. I found that part kind of extra tragic.
Yeah, I know that they actually, there was a huge outpouring in Frederick of, people wanted the police to be held accountable, and no charges were ever filed. And of course, you know how it goes. We invested ourselves, and we found no foul play. We're awesome. We were right. So Lauryn, we talked a little bit earlier on the phone. I was like, hey, cool, we got Baltimore Copblock starting up. Talked about you just got back from Pork Fest. So why don't you give us, the lowdown on what you guys are doing down in Baltimore with the Copblock? What you did up at Pork Fest. Did you do any speaking or anything like that? So let us know.
Okay. Yeah, my voice is a little scratchy too from Pork Fest still. I just got back, a lot of screaming at events and stuff like that. I did Soapbox Idol on. I was one of the finalists for that. For why I'm gay, I'm lesbian. On why the state shouldn't be involved in marriage at all. That was the only speaking that I did, and that was more of like a contest. I went up there to kind of. I went up last year too, and I went up to move, to look into moving. And this year I kind of went up for networking and talked to Pete and all the Copblock boys about starting a Copblock in Baltimore, because I figure of all the cities in the country, we should have had one by now, and I've been saying this for the past year or two, and I figured instead of just saying we should have one, I should probably start one. So Pete hooked me up with Matt Bergman, who does punk rock libertarians on Facebook and a few other things. I haven't gotten down to sit down and talk to him about it a lot yet, because I literally just got back from Pork Fest a day ago. We had 350 likes in less than 24 hours on the page, and I've gone out already downtown and been handing out cards and stuff, and right now we're just kind of in the process of organizing people and trying to figure out what everybody wants to do. Got up on the full Copblock page, and I did Campaign for Liberty stuff a while ago. I'm kind of out of that now that they're trying to do RAND stuff. I personally work in the system and outside of the system. I prefer to, kind of try both approaches. I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice. And actually right now I'm doing the Toy Gun March on DC on July 3rd too with Austin Peterson. So that kind of, I do Copblock and that. So that's, quite a broad range of stuff. But I did a lot of networking at Pork Fest. I talked to Antonio Bueller because he's in a kind of a bigger city too, and Jacob from Cop Watch, and I think he's in California somewhere. And it's like Oakland. So he's in a bigger city too. I wanted to talk to people that do this in bigger cities because it's much more dangerous in my opinion. It's kind of a different approach you have to take. So I spent my whole week there networking and talking to people about how to best be effective at this. So that's what I was doing for the past week.
So what kind of activism have you been doing? You sound like you were handing out some flyers and stuff. Can you kind of explain the ins and outs of the law? I would hope that you're pretty familiar with, Maryland's wiretapping and things like that. And I know that I've seen several videos from Maryland.
Yeah, they passed. We actually got defeated. The people were getting arrested for for videotaping the police. And the Supreme Court overturned it and said it was okay. So then our police department said, well, okay, well, then you can videotape us, but it has to be within a certain amount of feet. I don't know the exact amount of feet. I have to, sit down and have all these talks with everybody. I just know that it's so far away that it makes you videotaping them ineffective unless you have a long lens, really. So if we're going to be videotaping the police anywhere where it's going to be effective at all, we're technically going to be breaking the law, but they're breaking the law with the way they're interpreting the law, so... we have to kind of, like I said, I started this at PorcFest a week ago, so and we haven't all completely met up and decided exactly which approaches we're going to take. I talked to everybody at PorcFest from bigger cities, like I said, about it, and how far we're going to push it, and all of that quite yet. So right now, I'm in the process of organizing people. That's actually what I need help is I need people that are willing to help, because we need to go in groups, because it's Baltimore City.
So it sounds like
I have a go. Go ahead.
Oh, it sounds like you're really trying to reach out, and hopefully we can help you. Reach a bigger audience.
That's my goal right now.
The show's really been taking off since we got on FPRN. Now, you said that you had a Facebook page. Where else can we find you? Is there an email address, or what's the best way for the people who are listening? We have a live show, but then we archive everything and we get it downloaded from YouTube. So what's the best way for people to actually get a hold of you so that they can actually get together and help you?
Right now would be pretty much through Facebook, because that's the what we're doing. That's what we have set up right now is the Baltimore Copblock Facebook page. And then my Facebook page, which is Lauryn, Lauryn, Beth is the middle name, and then Faulkner, Faulkner. If you send me a friend request and a message on there. But I run the Copblock Facebook page too, so you could, the Baltimore Copblock one. So you can send a private message to there. Because if you go to the regular Copblock website, it's going to take you to Baltimore, and then it's going to take you to the Facebook page. So you might as well just go to the Facebook page and get a hold of me there. In the past, like I said, it's only been up for 24 hours. And I've had probably about 6 or 7 people ask me what they could do. So I'm going to work on trying to get everybody together and figure out what everybody's, specialties are and what they're good at and what they want to do. I found one girl that is a video editor, and I found another girl. I want to bring some girls into this. Is my kind of big thing. I think Pete said I might be the first female that founded a Copblock. So I feel like maybe with women, there'll be one of the first. Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So please, I'd like to have more girls involved in this. I feel like that we could even maybe take a different approach towards the police. I'm interested to see how the police will react to a woman with a camera as opposed to a man with a camera. That's just kind of one of my little social experiments in my head, maybe, I suppose. But I'm interested to see how different the cops will approach us and how different we'll approach them. Because I also do mediation type things. I'm trying to expand that too, so that people don't have to go to the police. They can, I want to move out of my boyfriend's house and he beat me up. I need somebody to come with me so I move my stuff out, that type of thing. My roommate's not doing this and that, and all we can do is fight. Well, I'll have somebody, instead of calling the cops when they're screaming and yelling going on, have somebody else come in and kind of diffuse the situation and be a facilitator for conversation. Things that you would, some people would normally call the police for, have alternatives to the police force. That's something that I'm kind of passionate about. Instead of just going after the police, come up with alternative systems too. And I feel like women might be more suited for that. I mean, of course, some men could too, but that's just where I'm coming at it from with that angle anyway.
Yeah, I think we talked about that in previous weeks, that finding alternatives for the violent monopoly that's in place right now is something that will start to make said monopoly be less needed, or not less needed, less acceptable to even be around. So I think that's great to kind of branch off into alternative services for things that cops for some reason get called for when we know they're horrible at diffusing situations. And this is kind of one of those examples that is great about the decentralized nature of CopBlock in general. If you want to start up a chapter and you're looking for one in your area and there isn't one, you can go ahead and start one. And of course, you came up to PorkFest and networked with everybody's here, and obviously you saw Pete. And did you see Adamo as well?
Yeah, I saw him too. He gave me. He's the one that gave me all the huge bag of the pamphlets and the cards and the door knockers and everything else. I got a badge while I was up there that says "Shiny badges don't grant extra rights."
I'm so
fun.
jealous of that.
Nice.
Yeah, right. They made 100 of them, and I had to get one, of course. It's so much fun. The only problem is I wore it last time I went downtown yesterday. Mind you, I've only been here for 2 days, but I've gone out 3 or 4 times already just handing stuff out. And I wore it the one time, and I realized that's kind of a bad idea. Because people are like, why are you talking to me about cops, and why do you have a badge? So it kind of turned some people downtown off, which I thought was kind of funny. But so it has its place, but I think Domino said something about they're going to set up a page on the CopBlock page where you'll register your badge or something. I'm not 100% sure on that yet, but that should be fun too. An interesting way to report through your number, badge numbers.
Actually, that'd be pretty fun to give everybody a badge number who writes for
I'm badge number 23, just so y'all know. Badge number 23.
Yeah, I saw Derek J. He did a little promo for it, and I caught it when he was lucky enough to get 007.
Nice. Nice. See, I like 23 because it's a Discordian number, the Robert Anton Wilson. I don't know if you know who he is, but it's a thing, so I was happy I got the number I wanted to. But and I talked to the boys a while back, probably about 6 months back, about Baltimore. See if Baltimore had a group and if there was one anywhere close. And I think somebody had started a Maryland one but wasn't really doing much with it or something. And they told me as soon as I wanted to do something to just let them know. And I was kind of like, I didn't want to do it by myself. I'm 5'0". I'm a little white girl in Baltimore, you know. So I didn't figure I could do much hardcore cop blocking by myself. So I had just been trying to network, and I met so many people at PorkFest, and I met, and I got so many people that I've already been involved with and already worked with that agreed to do it. Like, as soon as kind of I got the rubber stamp, then they agreed to do it. So I kind of probably should have done this about 6 months ago, but not, you know, instead of just sitting around waiting for somebody else to do it. So I'm glad I did. I'm going to get everybody together. Like I said, I'm aiming towards getting some girls. I would really like to have minorities in general in my little cop block patrol. And that's another thing, reaching out to minorities that I feel like is I want to focus on. I mean, I have to focus on. I don't have much of a choice, but I feel like there's a completely different approach to dealing with people from the inner city, and then they're really receptive. I just don't understand. I feel like there's a huge hole in the quote unquote liberty movement in general when it comes to speaking to people from inner city communities and whatnot, but they've been affected by some of this stuff worse than anybody and are extremely receptive. So I'm looking forward to working on that. I have been looking forward to working on that. I mean, when I was doing Campaign for Liberty stuff, I was kind of trying to tailor the liberty message, quote unquote, to the urban community, and it works out really well. I mean, they've got parents in jail for drugs, nonviolent crimes. They're the ones getting their ass kicked every day. They're the ones that live where the cameras are up on the corners. You know, they're the ones that are dealing with a lot of this. So I hope I can make a big dent in minority communities in general. And I'm gay, so you've got the gay, the woman, and I deal with the black community. So I feel like that's probably where I'm going to end up having a bit of specialty. So we'll see.
Well, now all you need is a little bit of freedom beef. Would be good.
Yeah. Maybe Bugs Bunny will come out and help videotape. So, I mean, if you have any of those, NSA keywords, feel, we throw them out. We're not afraid.
Oh, yeah.
So it sounds.
The tunnel down there could somebody should knock that tunnel out down there. The tunnel downtown in Baltimore, they get bomb scares on that thing all the time, and they'll close it down during rush hour, and everybody will, be all pissed off because somebody called in a bomb scare down there. We got bridges too. We can blow up a couple bridges if that helps. You think we got that?
The NSA is, I mean, blowing up right now. Pun intended.
I've been doing that for a while now. That's just fun stuff right there. And they're watching you anyway, so why not give them a little something to look at?
Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if DC has anything like that. DC and Baltimore both have serious history of, and I mean Philadelphia just kind of goes without saying. Serious history of police who are, unfair, unfairly, given these extra rights. Now, do you? I don't know if you would necessarily. It doesn't really have a lot to do with cop blocking, but I know that there was a huge issue in the Baltimore City Jail or the county jail with gangs actually running the jail. Have you heard about that at all? To where the
yeah, we have our cops are in a gang. They have a gang.
Yeah.
Yes, the cops are part of a gang.
Yeah, there was an issue.
And that's the only way you can put it.
Yeah, there was an issue with there was I think at one point there was 3 female guards that were pregnant to one inmate, and there were several guards who were driving vehicles that they could obviously not afford, and there was an FBI investigation that they did, and here there was a gang that was inside the jail. There was graffiti all over the jail, but there was people who were getting Mercedes that were prison guards because they were taking money and doing favors for inmates, and I think there was like 13 people or something like that worked at the Baltimore City Jail that were or county. I think it's the county jail, but they were relieved.
I think it was the county jail.
Relieved of duty, but I've spent a little bit of time in Baltimore, and I'm not interested. It's I mean,
it's dangerous. I mean, I got my ass. What got me not that I wasn't into this type of thing before, but what really solidified it for me is I got my ass kicked hard by the cops, and they charged me with assault on a police officer, and disturbing the peace and resisting arrest, which is a felony. Assaulting a police officer.
Yeah,
even if you flick a police officer, it's a felony. But what had happened was they came to my house because my sister had locked herself in the house with my keys, just a domestic thing, and I was yelling, "Let me in the house." And they came to the house, and when he rolled up, I said, "Good, you're here. Can you get my keys out of the house from her, please?" And he said I was irate, so he came over to me and grabbed my arm and did the whole put it behind my back and then push it up thing. And I had dislocated my shoulder and torn my rotator cuff, so he was going to really seriously hurt me. And I kept telling him that. I was like, "My arm doesn't bend up that way. You're going to hurt me." And he was like, "That's the point." Blah blah blah. So eventually he let me go after a little bit of talking, and I had broke the door trying to get in the house. So he said, "Well, go ahead and go in the window." And I opened the window, and I crawled halfway in and turned around, and so I was facing the outside with my butt on the couch, kind of getting ready to go in the house. And I said to my girlfriend who was outside, "Make sure you get his badge number and his name before he leaves, because he hurt me, and we're going to the emergency room." Well, that was the wrong thing to say, because he rushed over to the window, grabbed my ankle, and tried to pull me out of the window, and I was kind of in a sitting position, so I crossed my arms in front of my face. And if I hadn't, I don't know, he might have slit my throat, but he broke the window with me, basically. Like, pulled me through the window and broke the window, and then dropped me when he broke the window, and I fell inside the house. And before I was just standing up after falling in the house, and he kicked the front door in and then did the Russian leg sweep and face planted me on the ground, and then put his knees on my shoulders and gave me the whole, "Stop resisting, give me your hands." And I was like, "I'm laying on my hands, asshole. I can't, give them to you if I can't get them out from underneath me." And he yanked them out from underneath me and put the handcuffs on me, and then picked me up by the handcuffs off of the ground, because I'm little, picked me up off the ground by the handcuffs and slammed me on the hood of the car, like carried me. I didn't even walk to the car. He carried me by the handcuffs and slammed me on the hood of the car and then threw me in the back of the car, left me in there having an asthma attack, took me to the police station, and he kept telling the cops at the police station, take pictures of the cuts on my face. And they were like, there's no cuts on your face. And he was like getting really mad about it. But yeah, he charged me with all that. And in the police report, it said that I tried to punch him through the window. He said I was inside the house and he was outside, and I tried to punch him through the window. And then he said I tried to kick him in the chest. And like I said, he was like 6'3", I'm 5 foot tall. I don't know what kind of superhero, PCP, crazy person he's, you know, that report made me sound like, but when they read it out loud at court, the whole courtroom busted out laughing. Because it made me sound like a superhero. Like I punched him through the window and I kicked him in the chest. It made me sound like a ninja. So they realized how ridiculous it sounded and dropped the assault on a police officer charge. And
so there was...
if I had known what I know now, I probably wouldn't have copped to anything. But I did take the resisting arrest and disturbing the peace with no probation. It was just, you know, take it, go away type of thing. So I do have a personal experience with it, too, amongst other things when I lived downtown, but that was the worst one and actually resulted in charges.
So it sounds like we have another caller. It sounds like we have the other females that are part of CopBlock from Kansas City, Missouri.
Oh, there are other females. I wasn't aware.
They actually just called in, so can we bring them on?
Nice.
Hello, can you hear me?
There you are. So is this Tony or... oh, I forget the other one's name.
Yeah, this is Tony Bones. Let me throw you
Tony.
on speaker.
Awesome.
Yeah, maybe just say hi real quick. Hello. Hi, Lauryn.
Hi. Guys, I was unaware there was other females. Pete said he thought there were something like that, but he didn't know who or something. I'm so glad there's other girls.
There are other females, and I have a feeling, I think we're all little.
Yeah? It's because we have to be rough. It's because we have to be tough because we're so little, that's why.
But we're ferocious.
Nice.
Well, it's good to hear your stories. I think Tony was wanting to call in to...
Tony, you still there?
Can you guys hear us?
Yeah, you're kind of cutting out. You have Tony?
Yeah, I got it broken up.
Yeah, do you have some advice or something? You know, help Lauryn out is definitely looking for any help that she can get. Can you help her out? You know, we got about 2 minutes before break, but we'll keep you on past the break. But you know, help her out.
Absolutely. Personally, as a female, I've had really good interactions. For the most part, you might get flirted with, but what you notice right off the bat is that usually with the guys, you know, police officers tend to almost be more hostile-ish, maybe, just depending. But for the most part, they're just almost in shock at what's going on. I've had really good interactions with police thus far, and especially as far as just community outreach. People are definitely perhaps more receptive to a lady, but, you know, that's just maybe not. But I've had really good, I don't know, I'm just really excited to see other females stepping up and saying, you know, this is wrong, this is what we're going to do, and this is the stop.
We're going to have to hook up after this and talk about some stuff, too.
Absolutely. I think they only got you.
Look at that. The CopBlock Radio Show bringing people together.
Bringing ladies together.
Well, I think that was the point of the show that we started. Was to try to help bring other CopBlock groups together and help them get the attention out there and help spread the word. Well, we got to go to break, guys, so make sure you stay through the break. Probably have some more of the ladies conversating when we come back. You are listening to the CopBlock Radio Show on FPRN, and hopefully syndicated across the radio or the internet.
Mr. President, members of Congress, you've been making a lot of noise about taking our guns away. But you might want to review history. 1835, Gonzales, Texas Territory. The authorities wanted to confiscate the big gun that protected that colony. You know what the people said? Come and take it. because they were willing to fight for their freedom and their guns. So are we.
Come and take it if you want it. Come and take it if you think you can. Come and take it, but I warn you, you'll have to pry it from my cold dead hands. We want the freedom that God gave us, so you best not cross that line. If you want this gun, you gotta come through us and take it
one shot at a time. Just like Gonzalez, we're keeping our guns.
Hello, fellow patriots. This is Joseph Nazari, Director of Training Operations with Line of Fire, LLC, Professional Firearms Training Group, located in Las Vegas, Nevada. The fact that you're listening to this show is evidence to me that you are a true patriot and you do value your freedoms. As all patriots know, with freedom comes responsibility, and if you own a firearm, training should be an integral part of your personal defense profile. If you're considering quality firearms training, Line of Fire LLC should be your first choice. We teach all types of firearms training for all types of individuals, from the novice to the most advanced shooters. At Line of Fire LLC, we have a course for you. Please, feel free to call us today at 702-242-8288. We look forward to speaking with you soon. Once again, that's Line of Fire LLC, 702-242-8288.
In every age, a technology is created that upends the foundations of society. The wheel, the printing press, the internet. Now, in a world sliding into financial chaos, a new technology is changing the way monetary systems work around the world. It is called Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a new form of money, controlled not by banks, governments, or corporations, but through mutual commerce between free individuals. To learn more, visit WeUseCoins.com.
Talk about a wake-up call. I was paying for all the doctor's visits, insurance premiums, and medical costs out of pocket. All these expenses were keeping me from living the carefree lifestyle that I wanted. Then the government told me about Obamacare. Now with Obamacare, I don't worry about my health care. I eat whatever I want, whenever I want. I get all my prescription drugs for free, and there's no more coverage gap. I no longer need to worry about pre-existing conditions. We can see any doctor whenever we want for any reason, and so can everyone else.
Obamacare is not for everyone, like Congressman. If you are already healthy, do not use Obamacare, as you will see your premiums go up. If you are a sick person, do not use Obamacare, as you will see your premiums go up. Many people on Obamacare may experience longer wait times and fewer doctors, and denial of your treatment of choice. If you are faced with a healthcare situation, you may be denied treatment through government rationing.
Obamacare even covers my kids up to age 26.
If you experience a recession lasting more than 4 years, stop taking Obamacare and contact a travel agent to move to the Bahamas or New Zealand.
And the best thing is that Obamacare is free.
Obamacare is not free. Obamacare will increase the national debt by $863 billion in 10 years. Your taxes will go up $569 billion by 2019. If you see a major jump in your premiums, you should opt out of Obamacare immediately. Opting out of Obamacare is illegal and will incur major fines and penalties unless you are a union member who received a special waiver from the Obama administration. Obama is not responsible for the negative effects on the economy, your pocketbook, your freedoms, or your health.
Obama solved all my problems.
Obamacare. Live your carefree lifestyle.
Nothing is more American than diamond gusset jeans. 100% American made since 1987. Soft and broken in from the start, yet more rugged and durable than any jean you've ever worn. Have you ever experienced missized jeans from China? Well, you won't with Diamond Gusset. Every pair is crafted to fit exactly the same and always feel like they were custom made. Need a 35, 37, or 39 waist? How about a 31 inseam? We keep all sizes in stock for the fit you need. Looking for a relaxed fit, slim fit, regular fit, boot cut, or straight leg? We got you covered. Buy the world's best fitting jeans at Gusset.com or call 1-888-8GUSSET. Get free gusset targets for the next time you go to the shooting range with the purchase of their new Ranger Gene. Use code COMFORT when ordering to receive free shipping on all gusset orders at gusset.com. That's gusset.com to get only the best all-American jeans.
All of the nutrients found in the food from the produce of farmers are now very few, cause a group seeking profit is found making fruit longer lasting and beautiful. Sounds like improvement. They genetically splice it with drought at the root. Suddenly there's no need for the ground to have poop, and they knew that the public would doubt that is true, so they seeded the movement deep down in the youth. McDonald's and CJ's, Burger King, Arby's, Taco Bell, Jack in the Box, in the car please. Kids come to Crate Grease, Bone Peak and Rockies, 40-ounce sodas.
Welcome back to the show, guys.
Freedom beef, yo.
That's right. A little freedom beef there for you.
What was that? Get on. Let's hold on. Get the producer. What was that?
Give me 1 second to find out.
I think
It's called GMO.
I believe that was Aaron Green's.
I think so.
Okay, because I'm like...
With a Z. Greenz.
That was pretty awesome.
We're going to have a post-show meeting. Just saying. Sorry, Adam. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, all good. That was a good. So I didn't even want to come back into the show. I was rocking out.
I bet you were.
I was getting down to it.
You're getting down like Bugs Bunny.
Only if I had a freedom beef burger in my hand.
What's up, Doc?
That's right. All right. So do we still have the ladies on the line? Oh, we do. Look at that. So, ladies, we figured let you wrap up real quick, and then we got to take our next caller. Micah's calling in. He's already on the line. So go ahead and if you guys have anything last to say to each other, and then we'll make sure you guys get each other's contact information so you guys can keep mingling.
Yeah, sounds good. I mean, just wanted a brief rundown of my tire situation, and I think Janelle wanted to say something really quick.
Go ahead.
Whatever works. Are we on? Oops.
Yeah, we're on.
I'm not good at multitasking. Basically, I'm getting ready to go to trial on July 9th at 6:30 because this winter these individuals with badges on came to my house and informed me that it was unlawful for me to collect tires for a recycling project that I was doing. Long story short, I am a free person and I'm not hurting anybody, so I did not move them. In fact, I painted them very pretty and I planted things in them. Went to court. The reason I am possibly looking at jail time, however, that I like to point out is because the details of my situation are minute. It almost doesn't matter because it's a victimless crime. I haven't hurt anybody. So the, I guess, real crime that I'm encountering is that I refuse to acknowledge just the absurdity of it. I'm refusing to give them any of my Federal Reserve notes. I will not plead guilty. I just will not acknowledge that I've committed a crime or I've done something wrong. So I will, volunteer, do volunteer work, community service, something of that nature. But I guess we'll see how that goes. I'm told there's a good possibility that I may be working off fines in jail, which is, fine, because I would rather do that than fund a criminal organization that I know for a fact is violent and immoral, as I pointed out in my testimony on YouTube. So that's pretty much what's going on.
Nice.
Yep.
Well, I would like to see if you guys have one more just stupid piece of girl advice. Like, are you guys in the same group?
I'm sorry?
Are you guys in the same group?
In the same group, yeah, we're both co-founders.
Okay, so you guys are in the same group, so you kind of have each other for backup.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Thinking about it.
I called him on over to tell I got to do some kid wrangling, but she could definitely tell you more about that.
I'm really sorry. I'm going to have to catch up with you guys. This is Janelle. Toni handed me the phone. She's doing kid wrangling.
Okay.
And what I was listening to was delayed. Lauryn was speaking.
Yeah, everybody's, I think. There's a bunch of people on the line, so I think we're having a bit of a delay issue.
Well, Toni and I actually, we're using the same phone. We're hanging out.
Toni, what is Toni's last name on Facebook?
She's Toni Bones.
Yeah, Lauren Beth Faulkner. She knows who I am. I didn't know she actually did Copblock. Well, then I'm going to hook up with you guys for sure. And definitely have about a bajillion questions for you then.
I know, and I do for you. So, okay, what were you asking about Toni?
I just know I'm friends with her on Facebook. I didn't realize that she did. I thought she did something I thought she made T-shirts or something. I was not aware that she actually did cop blocking. I know she wrangles kids too. I didn't know. I was unaware.
Yeah, we all wrangle kids. We're all the little ladies that wrangle kids and do cop block. So we're Missouri, Kansas cop block. But no, her trial on June 9th. Did she? Because we couldn't hear. I couldn't hear her. So I'm not sure what else she's told you. There is an event page on Facebook for it.
She didn't say that. I was going to ask.
Okay, there is. And it's Toni versus City of Sugar Creek versus Toni. I did put the YouTube video on the chat. It's basically her explaining everything about it. If it so happens that she does end up in jail, she asked for a jury of her peers and was denied that. She is used to, as we all are, waking up with our kids every morning. And so we do have childcare planned out, but one thing that I think that she's most worried about is being away from the kids if she has to for this reason, and I'm worried about her because of that. So the kids are taken care of, but I wanted to let everybody know if that does happen.
Uh-oh, did we lose the ladies?
I think we did.
Yeah. All right. We did. All right. Well, we need to go to the next caller anyway. Lauren, thank you for coming on, and welcome to the Copblock family.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. You'll be hearing out of me soon, I'm sure. Living in Baltimore, something's going to pop up soon enough.
All right. Well, thank you again for coming on the show.
All right. I'll talk to you guys later.
Have a good night. All right, so I believe we have Micah on the line. We can take this next call and get to him. Micah, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on the show tonight, Micah.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I was.
Yeah,
you cut out there at the last
second.
second.
For having me. I said I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, no, thank you. So tell me a little bit about yourself. You're obviously founder of Alabama Copblock. You want to tell us what made you start Alabama Copblock and get involved with that?
Yeah. Absolutely. It's actually a strange story. I'll try to make it quick. I don't know how many people involved with Copblock went the route I went, but I'm 29 years old now. When I was around 23 years old, I actually thought I wanted to be a police officer. And through my efforts of getting involved, getting applied, making friends in law enforcement, wanting to be a noble man, get bad guys off the street, my kids be proud of me, the whole 9 yards. My perception of what being a police officer was, which is, I'm sure, what the original meaning of a peace officer was. But as I journeyed into that and made more friends and spoke to people, I began to be exposed to the corruption, that it is. And it made me sick to my stomach. So I actually, immediately pulled myself out of it and went a different path for a career. And so eventually over the years, I began seeing, videos of people standing up for their rights, shooting video of police doing things wrong, and actually, and it kind of inspires you that you see other people doing it, and you think, wow, people are starting to stand up and hold these people accountable for the wrong things that they're doing, and it really pumps you up and fires you up, wants to make you, become a part of it. So I actually started out in the first group I was ever a part of was Alabama Open Carry, where we supported our right to open carry. I actually wound up being one of our county's coordinators here for that, and was proudly able to organize one of the first ever open carrier and law enforcement meetings in the state of Alabama, which we all actually sat in the same room and had a great conversation about what we thought we could do to work together with the open carry issue. And also we discussed an issue of one of our open carriers that was held at gunpoint with an AR-15, and he was simply walking through a store with his wife, So, but I went from there and, of course, discovered CopBlock.org, read it, immediately was excited about it. And from that point on, I began to do my own thing, filming, getting more privy to recording audio, video. And the most important thing was I began to learn the law. Every opportunity I got, I would look law up, learn it, case law, attorney general opinion, everything I could get my hands on, I began to educate myself on it, because I believe that's the most powerful thing, that we can do to defend ourselves against this corruption and this, this unlawful behavior that the police have, is to educate ourselves. And in most cases, you guys know that when we educate ourselves, we find ourselves more educated on the law than the actual law enforcement officer, But anyway, but then I was inspired after seeing several people start up their own state CopBlock group, is when I decided to do one for Alabama. And I started it up slow as a group on Facebook, and it's been a slow, progressive thing. We haven't, really gotten into doing, protests yet and stuff like that, but I wanted to let it grow first. I didn't want to get out there prematurely, not have enough, people and have enough support. And so I wanted to let it grow, which leads us to where we are now. Like I said, we're still new and still growing, and I'm getting ready to start organizing some events, some protests and stuff, now that we've gotten over 100 members. And I think if we keep going at the rate we're going, by the end of this year, we should have around 200, and hopefully keep growing from there. But I've actually had my first taste of the experience of being part of CopBlock, which is now that we're over 100 members, I believe local law enforcement has actually taken notice of me and who I am and what I'm doing with CopBlock. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that seems to happen. I think a lot of us have noticed that is once we start making a ruckus and start building our groups, they start paying attention to us to know that we're legit and we're not playing around, and they really don't like us.
Absolutely, and it's this, I don't know, this notion that they can intimidate us by letting us know that they know who we are. You know what I mean? And I don't know what legal route this is going to take at this point. Like I said, I've just become aware of it here recently, and I'm still doing a lot of investigating on my own at this point, and may or may not contact an attorney depending on what I find out. But so I won't name any agencies or people's names or anything quite yet. But I was told that a local law enforcement agency has began to give messages to businesses that I use, and told them that it's in their best interest that they not do business with me. And so, of course, me, I was a little shocked. I'm thinking, well, why are they going to, making such a fuss over me? I'm, I have no criminal background and I do nothing wrong, So, but anyway, and when as far as to a local bar that I go to with my friends sometimes, we know the owner very well. We have a good reputation with him there and everything. I've actually helped him do security before. I've helped do some digital work for him. I've designed some promotional posters and stuff like that for him. So a good relationship. They actually came to him and told him that if I kept patronizing that bar, if he allowed me to come in there and I was seen there, that they would begin to pull people over leaving that bar on the weekends, which of course would kill his business, and also is very illegal to do that. They're not allowed to do that. So, this is what I'm dealing with now, and like I said, I'm in the beginning stages of it. So we'll see where it goes, and I'll keep everybody updated and posted on how it turns out.
So basically, not only are they trying to intimidate you, it sounds like they're intimidating the people that you know also.
Absolutely. Yeah, which is kind of a shocker. You're really when you first hear about these things, and people are telling you, you're almost kind of in disbelief, because you're like, no way, no way they're doing this. You know what I mean? But they are, and this is what they do. It wasn't until it was cleared up for me when I was told that my group on Facebook was mentioned. When they said that Alabama Cop Block was mentioned, then everything, all the pieces kind of fell together. I knew, I understood then what was going on. So, and I'm sure the bigger that this group grows, the more attention it'll probably gain, and that's fine. I welcome that attention, and like I told Adam, I believe it was, as long as if they want to watch me, fine. If they want to pay attention to me and waste their time on me, then that's awesome. As long as they don't infringe on my rights or harass me or any of my family or anything like that, then by all means let them waste their time. But if they're breaking the law, or if they're violating my rights or hurting me or my family or my friends, then there's going to be something done about it.
Oh yeah. Well, we already all know that they're all watching us already anyway, with NSA and everything like that.
Oh, yeah.
Our freedom beef.
That one didn't work in very smoothly.
No, it didn't? Oh, okay. That's all right. I still said it, though.
We still have plenty of time. Now, Micah, it sounded like, we can find you on Facebook. Is there any other, do you have an email address or what's the best way for people to get a hold of you so we can help you to build your group and make a bigger impact on your area down there?
Yeah, definitely. That's one of the things I wanted to say too, was that for any of the men and women that are seniors in CopBlock or experienced or whatever, that want to come and visit our group on Facebook to answer questions, give advice, post ideas, just talk to people, we would love that. We would appreciate that. But also, as far as right now, I'm looking into doing some other things, actually starting a website and stuff. I'm looking into the options I have. Right now, it's facebook.com, /group/Alabama Cop Block. And you can, come in there. I have a YouTube channel that I've just started. Alabama Cop Block is the YouTube channel name. And I'm trying to encourage our members now, and anybody else for that matter that wants to come in and post a video they've taken, that I will in turn upload to the Alabama Cop Block YouTube channel. So, like I said, we're growing and trying to do different things, and I'm looking at different options now to expand and get us out there, get our name out there, and get more people involved. And also, we're extremely open to any advice or ideas that any of the long-term guys, or girls have.
So yeah, I mean, with just what we're doing, it's great to have this community that people can reach out to and connect with. So that's kind of why we started the show to begin with.
Yeah, absolutely. And the radio thing to me is actually new. That's what I was wanting to say too. Is not only can we expand and get more people involved and learn more things, but the more involved we get ourselves, the more we learn about things. The Cop Block Radio I wasn't aware of until this specific incident. And now getting to be a part of it is great, and I'm glad that there's more stuff out here like this. And I would love to be a part of it more often. If it's not for things like this and getting the word out, then we're really losing what we're out here to do. It's like when I started Alabama Cop Block on Facebook. It started out kind of slow. And, I was doing something that I believed in and something that I wanted to do. And it kind of slowly built. And, of course, I invited some friends that were like-minded and wanted to show support and be involved in everything. And so a little discouraging at first, but then before too long it began to grow. And that's when I started getting people that I didn't know, people from all across the state. And, when we got to a certain level, then Pete sent me a message, which, I was really excited about that to actually get involved with, with Pete and everything and CopBlock.org and got connected there. And then from that point, the ball got rolling. And it's been growing ever since, and I'm really excited to see it continue to grow. I know there's a lot of people in Alabama and in the Southeast, for that matter, that are on the same page as we are, and they're just looking for a venue to get together and share their ideas and their thoughts and their experiences, So I think it's a really great thing.
Oh, it is, yeah. I'm happy we started up this show, and I'm sure there's lots of other people that are happy we started up this show and started doing what we do. But thank you, Micah, for coming on. Is there anything more you wanted to talk about?
No, I guess that covers everything. I appreciate y'all having me on, and like I said, if anybody out there that wants to come visit the group on Facebook and see what we got going on, or throw out ideas or experiences too, more than welcome. Excited to be a part of this whole movement, And as far as the incident with what's going on with me with the local law enforcement beginning to now threaten businesses and friends and stuff, I will definitely keep everybody updated. And if anything happens major, I'll have it posted, and we'll see. I've also been told too, I'll throw this in there, so we might have some video footage that gets posted up if it happens. But I was told that if I'm caught going 1 mile an hour over the speed limit, they're going to pull me over and find a reason to arrest me. So I thought that to be a little extreme, but I'm always ready. I have a high-definition video camera, cell phone, audio recorder. I've got a pair of glasses that record audio and video, so I'm pretty covered. Got a GoPro on my window, and I think I'll get them from a few different angles,
Sounds like you're ready to go.
You might want to get somebody on a retainer, man. We talked about that a couple episodes ago. So just, if anybody who's an activist that's getting out there and getting there, police start to know your name. You want to make sure that you protect yourself. Either something like Shield Mutual, or contact a local attorney and just let them know, hey, I'm an activist. I feel like I'm being targeted, and whatever it is to protect yourself from the guys who think that they're better than you are.
Yeah, and that's definitely something that I'm wanting to do. I do have some questions as far as if anybody listening or you guys or anything, feel free to message me or send me any information. But I know finding an attorney that's appropriate for these types of situations can be difficult, because you kind of have to have a headhunter attorney that's willing to go after a law enforcement agency. So if there's anybody, any names or anybody that wants to send me a message or post up on the group or anything like that to let me know, that would be great, because I would really love to do that.
Good stuff. Well, we need to head to break here. Thank you for coming on again, Micah.
Yeah, guys, I appreciate it. Had a fun time.
Awesome, thanks. Well, I'll give a quick shout out to one of our new sponsors. We got Diamond Gusset. We got 100% American-made jeans. You can check them out on the main page on the FBRNRadioshow.com. While we're on break, and look it up. Check out the jeans and whatnot. Other than that, you listen to the Copblock Radio Show on FBRN, and we'll be right back.
Is this a chair? No, it's not. I'm coming over. Stand close to me.
Tired of living in a violent society? If every citizen was armed, no one would be dumb enough to shoot people. It's exactly the ethos our founding fathers had when they wrote the Constitution and then changed it, which is what makes it sacred now. Come mingle with safety-minded people like you at the Liberty City Gun Club. Our nation is still the world leader in one thing: armaments. Nothing says excitement like a night out with a small caliber semi-automatic weapon. Get social at the Liberty City Gun Club.
Well, yeah, it's getting tough out there. Yeah, no doubt. I work in home invasions, mostly. Some murder, occasional rape, if she's hot, or really bitchy. And I'm a huge advocate of gun control, absolutely. Every time I kick in a door or smash a window, I face the possibility of being shot and killed. Allowing citizens to own guns creates a hostile work environment for me and my associates. No one should have to work under those conditions. I say make them all illegal, absolutely. I mean, I break the law for a living. I'm a professional, so it doesn't really bother me. No doubt. No doubt.
Your local violent criminals work hard and put their lives on the line every time they attempt to murder, rape, abduct, or assault a member of the citizenry. They desperately need your help. With your support, there may finally come a day when a violent criminal can have his way with you or someone you love without the fear, anxiety, and stress caused by knowing there's a possibility his victim might be armed. Please show your support by voting for stronger anti-gun legislation, because criminals prefer unarmed citizens.
Nothing is more American than Diamond Gusset jeans. 100% American made since 1987. Soft and broken in from the start, yet more rugged and durable than any jean you've ever worn. Have you ever experienced missized jeans from China? Well, you won't with Diamond Gusset. Every pair is crafted to fit exactly the same and always feel like they were custom made. Need a 35, 37, or 39 waist? How about a 31 inseam? We keep all sizes in stock for the fit you need. Looking for a relaxed fit, slim fit, regular fit, boot cut, or straight leg? We got you covered. Buy the world's best fitting jeans at Gusset.com or call 1-888-8GUSSET. Get free Gusset targets for the next time you go to the shooting range with the purchase of their new Ranger jean. Use code COMFORT when ordering to receive free shipping on all Gusset orders at Gusset.com. That's Gusset.com to get only the best all-American jeans.
Do you have a group or organization founded on the principles of personal liberty, health freedom, or accountable government? We invite you to check out Same Side Entertainment. Same Side is a source for activists and liberty organizations to connect with well-known leaders in today's growing movement for sustainable living, personal liberty, and sovereignty issues. Same Side has a variety of keynote speakers, debate panels, interactive web presentations, musicians, and liberty-based entertainment, as well as services for web design, graphic design, video, and photography. Same Side can help customize your event by connecting you to the best of the liberty and political world while staying within your budget. Get connected with leaders in the liberty movement like Tom Woods, Kevin Gutzman, Jack Hunter, Robert Scott Bell, Bob Murphy, Michael Scheuer, John Bush, Jordan Page, Tatiana Moroz, and many more. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and our website at www.samesideentertainment.com. Again, that's www.samesideentertainment.com. Same Side Entertainment, connecting you with the education and resources you need.
Hi, I'm Chuck Norris, a black belt patriot. If some thug breaks into my home, I can use my roundhouse kick, but I'd prefer he look down the barrel of my gun. And millions of other law-abiding families also rely on their Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms. Some politicians say they support your rights, but unfortunately, their voting records say otherwise. Protect your rights on Election Day. Check the candidates' records and see who stood up for your families and who protected the criminals. I'm Chuck Norris, and I approve this message.
Just let them try and outlaw those guns.
Much as a goodbye.
All right. Well, welcome back to the show, guys. Listen to the Cop Block Radio Show on FPRN. A little mumbo jumbo there on the way out. I got a little tongue tied. And FPRN.com is the site. You can listen to us on there, and make sure you check out the other shows on the lineup that they have. Right now, we are taking over the spot for Line of Fire. Make sure you check them out on Saturdays from 6 to 9 Eastern Time. Big shout out to the producers, giving us a lot of help and catching me on my mumbo jumbo there. Also, make sure you check out all the sponsors on the webpage there and keep us going and making shows like this possible. Oh, and they're letting me know I still said it wrong, so it's FPRNradio.com.
You got that this time?
I think I got it that time.
FPRNradio.com.
FPRNradio.com/freedomburger.
Yeah, you gotta do the cheat sheet, man. I'm all about the cheat sheet, and you just have the whole list. You know, the producer Nolan was over here telling me I was saying the number wrong earlier in the show, but my memory's shot. I lose my keys 6 times a day, so I have to write everything down.
Yeah, I need to obviously do that. I just need to get a screen and just put everything there.
So yeah, I kind of the theme of the past couple segments is pretty much around the cop block concept and the decentralization of it. And if you want to start a group in your area, you can go ahead and do that. And there is a lot of support out there from the other local groups that can be kind of leveraged in helping you do that.
Oh, yeah. So, more word from the producers. I guess we have another caller on the line. So, let's see. We got... Oh, clicking on the wrong stuff here.
We got
Joe. Joe, are you there?
Yes, hello. Can you guys hear me?
Hey, yeah. Joe. How are you,
Hey,
brother?
what's up, man? Great show. Great show as always. And once again, welcome to the FPRN radio lineup. You know, I've been listening. I think I missed the first 4 or 5 minutes, but I've been listening to the callers, and I wanted to comment on the last caller about, you know, with the leaving the bar, the 1 mile over, how he's got his digital camera. And I wanted to give you a personal story, which really doesn't have to do with me personally. Most of you know what I do for a living, and maybe your listeners don't. But I own a shooting school in Las Vegas, Nevada. And thus Line of Fire Radio. That's the name of my shooting school, Line of Fire LLC. And I'm not here to promote my school. What I am here to talk about is several years ago, probably more than several. It might have been, because I trained so many people, it might have been, 5, 6, 7 years ago. In Nevada, if you have a concealed weapon permit, you do not, under statute, have to notify the officer if you have contact with that officer, whether it's, vertical on the street or, driving in your vehicle or any contact unless you are asked by that officer. So some instructors will say, yeah, you know what, don't tell them anything. They have no right. State law protects you and this and that. Well, we all know that when we challenge the police, oftentimes, you can take a simple contact and bring it into, a bigger issue. So I don't really tell my students to do this. I give it to them both ways. I tell them what the state law says and the statute to look it up. And what I would do personally if I was confronted by a police officer and I was carrying a concealed firearm legally with a permit. So anyway, one of my students that had gone through my course called me up. He got his permit and everything, called me up about 4 or 5 months later and said, hey, I got a big issue that happened to me. And I'm like, well, what happened? He's like, well, I listen every everything you said in the class, and I know I didn't have to tell the officer I got pulled over for speeding. Actually, it wasn't speeding. It was running a red light. He was driving like an Acura or something, and it turned red. He punched it. He was late for an appointment. Whoop, whoop. He got lit up. Officer gets out. He said that she slammed her door so hard on her patrol unit that his Acura shook. That's how pissed she was. And he was dead to rights. I mean, for running the red light. He was wrong, totally wrong for doing that, and he admitted that. Put his window down, shut the vehicle off, hands at 10 and 2, middle of the day, so no dome light required. And officer comes up and says, you just ran a red light or something to that effect. License, registration, proof of insurance. Officer, I would like to let you know that I'm carrying a loaded firearm. I am a CCW permit holder. What would you like me to do? Well, she screwed a .40 caliber Glock in his left ear. Literally touched his body. And she got him out of the vehicle. It was a big drama situation. Handcuffed him, disarmed him, blah, blah, blah. It back up the whole thing that you hear about all the time on TV. The point I wanted to bring out is this guy told me about that, and then I said, wow, that's really unfortunate. You need to possibly file a complaint with internal affairs. I don't know if he did or he didn't, but anyway, he called me back several months later, and he says, look, I got rid of the Acura. I just bought a brand new Escalade. And he spent $4,000, I think that was the number, that he went to some shop and had video cameras and microphones installed throughout the vehicle. So if he gets pulled over, all he's got to do is hit a button like in the back of his steering wheel, and it's got like a 360 view from the inside. I'm not sure about the outside. But he said this, if it does happen to me again, it will never happen to me again, if you can kind of get that logic. So not everybody has that kind of money to spend on cameras in their vehicle. This just so happened to be a person that had some money. But he was very shaken by that. And I want to get your opinion on that, about doing – we've seen the Ohio video of the guy trying to tell the Ohio officer who was later fired, and that was his own dash cam, when he was trying to tell him he was a CCW permit holder. And in that state, I do believe that you have a duty to inform the officer upon contact, unlike Nevada, where it's only when asked.
I just moved from Ohio, but I have my CHL for Ohio, and you have a duty to notify, which is kind of annoying. But even during getting the CHL to begin with, a lawyer actually came in to talk about it, and I don't know if you've seen the other video that came out of, I believe it was the Dayton area in Ohio. It wasn't the cop's dash cam. It was a guy who had his own camera in his car, and he was a CHL holder, and he wasn't carrying a firearm, so he had no duty to notify. But the cop, for some reason, thought that he ran the plate, saw that he had a CHL, and he didn't notify him. Well, he gave him a hard time about not notifying that he had a CHL, even though he wasn't carrying a firearm, which, since he had no firearm, no duty to inform. So I guess it's kind of state by state, depending on how the officer would react, because obviously in Ohio they would expect them to notify, but in the video that you're talking about, he couldn't get a word in edgewise to even notify him in the first place. So I guess it's kind of state by state and what the laws are in your state. Though even like in Ohio, when I was taken, the lawyer came in and said, even if you're not carrying and you get pulled over, keep your hands at 10-2, because when they run the plate, they're already going to know that you have a CHL or whatever. So it's usually better to say, I have a CHL, but I am not carrying. So you can do whatever. But in the case, even in Nevada, depending on where you're carrying
Nevada,
your
let me
firearm.
correct you, please. Nevada.
Nevada, whatever.
You will get hate mail.
I'm a New Englander.
ammo.
People in Nevada if you say Nevada.
It's
Come on,
ammo,
I got
not
pass.
bullets.
I'm
I'm just joking, but I go ahead.
So regardless of what state you're in, depending on where you're carrying your firearm, I usually carry mine on my right hip. My hand would go right past it to get to my wallet, which is probably even more dangerous than letting them know ahead of time, hey, I have a CHL, I'm carrying my firearm, it's on my hip. If I go for my wallet, I'm going to be going right past my firearm. What would you like me to do? So who knows what the best tactic would be to take in that situation?
Well, I will tell you from an instructional and law enforcement instructor standpoint of where to carry your wallet. For years and years and years before I got my first, my CCW here in Nevada, which was back in 1996. That's when I actually started my business, because I started the Nevada concealed carry law back in 1995, and I started my business a few months later, and that's where you call it a CHL, we call it CCW. But the bottom line is I always carried my wallet in my back pocket, on my right back pocket, and from when I started carrying back in 96, I changed it to my left front pocket for obvious reasons. If I come into contact with law enforcement, my right hand does not go anywhere behind me or, towards my back pocket on the dominant side, because most people are dominant right-handed. And that way I can just let them know, hey, I'd like to reach in my left front pocket. Well, a lot of people carry pocket pistols, so that's where I keep my wallet now. Another reason, I hate to use the word tactical, but another reason why I do that is because I can always kind of position myself and get in the weaver stance, or some guys say 45-degree blade or anything like that, and I can just basically drop my right leg back, and I can be in that natural fighting position to where I can fend off the attacker if they try to come to me. And if they do want my wallet, now I've got my left hand occupied in that left front pocket to throw the wallet to the bad guy or give it to him as I draw my weapon and engage that threat. So that's just a little something. That's not why I called, but that's just a little something that I thought I would mention.
Yeah. One thing on that topic, this is actually a really cool thing, and I'm glad that you called, Joe. And I'm also glad that you're on Saturday, so now I can listen, so thank you. But
yes to both.
One thing that I do personally, and I've given it out several times to several different people, there's a website I really like, and I'm sure you've heard of usacarry.com. So what I do is, I go to USA Carry, and you can download a PDF. I don't think I know anybody anymore that doesn't have a smartphone. I have a PDF of all of the rights and of all the regulations for Pennsylvania and any other state that I would go to or travel through. I download that PDF so that I know, even if I don't have any signal, what's going on in that state as far as, because I have my CCW. I know exactly what I can and what I can't do. They outline it very specifically, and they talk about things just like you're talking about. Do I have to tell the police officer this? What do I have to do to carry it? What's the reciprocity? Things like that. And downloading that and just having that for quick reference, even if it's just like before you get pulled over or while you're sitting there waiting, double check, but make sure that you always know, and you always be courteous, but know more than the cops know.
And you know what? I know Tim Schmidt from USCCA. If you look up my name and USCCA and Google it, or my business name, Line of Fire, you'll see that he did a magazine spread on me several years ago. So, yes, I do know Tim. Great organization. And believe it or not, I am a life member of USCCA. So I know the organization well. Good people. Really, really trying hard to let us or give us the tools that we need, so to speak, to do the right thing. But here's the other part of it, is that just because you read something on a website that maybe USCCA or the NRA has, laws change over frigging night. Just look at New York with the SAFE Act. So, you got to keep up on that. You can't look at it today and then go back and look at it 2 years later and then expect it to have the same content and mean the same thing. It has to, because it's I hate to say the word living, breathing, because they always use that with the Constitution. The Constitution is etched in stone, believe it or not. But, if you're going to do that, you need to keep up on it and not just read it once and forget about it and think that everything is going to be the same at a later date.
All right.
But that's a good point you brought up.
Thanks, Joe, for calling in. That's Joe Nazare from Line of Fire. You can catch them over at 6 o'clock on Saturdays on FPRN.
All right, guys, thanks for taking my call. I'll let you go and I'll listen to the rest of the show. Have a great night and be safe.
Hey, Joe, did you Skype in or call in?
This is my Skype right here.
Dude, quality rocks. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Have a great night, guys.
So I think we have Jannel and Toni back on the line to just wrap things up before we went to break the second time.
Yeah, actually, Toni just left with the kids, or she's walking out the door. Anyway, I'm not sure what else she told you. We were in two separate rooms haranguing the kids. But I posted the Facebook event link for her court date and the YouTube video with her explaining. It's about 10 minutes, and it explains the entire thing. I did post that in the chat room. I can post it in Copblock Radio if you would like. But mainly, the main concern is since she's not doing the plea bargain, and I'm hoping for the best, but, she's planning for the worst, and she's concerned about the kids, being around them, how they're taken care of. Child care is taken care of. Toni is not asking for any funds at all whatsoever from any radio station, any group. But if it so happens that she does end up going to jail for a certain amount of time, and we'll have more details as far as when we figure out, how we're going to do this with our kids. We're definitely going to have a flood, a call flood. So, and a toy drive and maybe a food drive for the kids while she's gone. So, because there's 3 of them, they're really young. And so I know that's what she's worried about the most. And so,
yeah. So for those
to let
who
everybody
are
know, as much support as possible as you can give her. I mean, we're going to have, we'll have time carrying and just basically a lot of volunteerist friends, a lot of people who, all of this is just ridiculous. And hopefully her neighbors, since they're so supportive of her, hopefully they'll, have some sort of say with the city of Sugar Creek. But the video definitely explains everything. And I think she just wanted me to let you guys know that I'll be probably heading up like a food drive if she does end up going to jail for having planters in her yard.
All right, yeah. Keep us informed about that. And for those who are listening to this, or even those who are listening to it live or as the podcast, I'll include those links in the show notes, which will be on the copblock.org after the show, where I post the episode and all the show notes and links to relevant stuff. So you can check that out there a little after the show ends to see those.
I can speak for Toni, saying thank you, appreciate it. Any support? We're Missouri, Kansas, Copblock. You can find us on Facebook. And thanks for posting all of that. So
all right, yeah. Thanks for calling back in and finishing up what we had to end up getting cut off.
No problem.
Copblock. Sorry, what was that?
I didn't say anything. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Sorry. And the link to the Copblock post that I make, you can also find at the archives page of FPRNradio.com. All of our show note pages are linked from there. If you just go straight to there, and then you don't have to search through all the Copblock archives to find it. You guys got anything else?
No, I mean I'm good. It sounds like we have all their information that we can get out to everybody. Which we just want to spread the word, and that's what we're here for. It sounds like that's what we're doing, man.
So thanks, Jannel, for calling back in.
Yeah, it was good to talk to you guys again. It was good to hear Lauryn. It was good to hear it was good to hear everybody. So you guys have a good night.
Thanks. For other people who are involved in local cop block groups, Peaceful Streets Project, Cop Watch, or any other police accountability type group, this is kind of the forum to get your message out there and connect with other people, or try to get yourself out there to find other people, I guess. And you can get a hold of us by emailing it's CopBlockRadioShow at copblock.org, and we can try to work something out, or you can like our Facebook page and follow us there, and then you'll know what's going on with the show.
So a little freedom beef for us tonight to close out the show.
Freedom beef.
I was like, Adam got so quiet. I was like, what
yeah,
happened?
my mic was muted and I didn't realize it.
Yeah. Wow.
It's got a nice flashing red light on it.
Well, see, I have it turned around backwards, so I don't see that.
I'm already yelling at the guys that we need an on air and a mic muted light. So if we can get on that one pretty quick too, guys. Thanks.
That's right.
Well, or they can just move to New Hampshire and I can do this live from the studio. But then you would be remote.
Whatever.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't really have anything else prepared. You guys got something else?
I don't know. I think we all need to meet up at Porkfest next year and have everybody get together. Have a huge get together. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, we can do the show live from Porkfest. Wouldn't that be awesome?
That would be cool as heck.
We'll get the producers up there. We'll get them to make some commitments. And I thought we were in this year, and sometimes life changes, and you just gotta roll with it. So it's all good.
Yeah, it'd be nice to be able to do the show with all of his in the exact same location. That'd be crazy. Maybe we'd freak out and
maybe
be like,
we'd get
we
awkward.
can't do this.
It might get
It would
awkward.
probably be awkward.
I'll wear my tuxedo.
I got one of those.
Man, there would be a lot of firearms on that stage.
There would. We'd have to have a barbecuer up there too, so we can make some freedom beef.
Freedom beef.
You do get the award tonight for most NSA blips on the radar.
Awesome. Good. Do I get a golden sticker or something for that?
Yeah, you get a I voted for Obama sticker.
Yeah, I don't want that.
I don't vote.
You can get the golden NSA award or something. We
I'm
should make
on-
a trophy.
I'm
with a
on more
golden
lists
NSA
than
on
you
the top.
award.
I don't know. So yeah, any other groups that are out there, it'd be great if you can get in contact with us, and if anything's going on in your neck of the woods, to let us know. And we are live every Wednesday night at 9:30 p.m. on FPRNradio.com. And be sure to check out Line of Fire on Saturday at 6 p.m. Yeah, 6 p.m. Eastern. And until then, remember that badges don't grant extra rights.
Work all day and I work all night just to keep a law and order, trying to do what's right. If I write you out a ticket, then you better drive slow.
Thanks for listening to FPRN. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter. If you'd like to start your own show with FPRN, advertise with us, or donate to the network or to your favorite shows, check out our website at www.fprnradio.com.
Job, I'm the highway patrol.